Alright guys, I'm back doing another video. Apologies for the glare on the board, hopefully you can see everything there. But the title of today's video is Why Can't I Lose Weight? I wanted to make a video on this because it's a really common question that I get from people, and really there's just so much misinformation out there when it comes to weight loss, and people tend to just completely overcomplicate it. So I want to give you guys the simplified scientific approach to giving you the best chance possible to lose weight in the new year. So, why can't I lose weight? First and foremost, the thing that we absolutely have to have in place, and I wrote an article, or I did a social media post about this recently, calorie deficit has to be in place. That is really, generally speaking, the only physiological mechanism by which your body can lose weight. This is governed by things as crucial as the laws of thermodynamics, okay? So physics tells us that you have to be burning more energy than you're taking in if you're going to lose weight. That's what a calorie deficit means, okay? So that means that you are eating less calories than your body needs to be able to maintain its current body weight. So if you're 80 kilos and it takes 2,500 calories in a typical day for you to maintain that weight, you have to be eating below 2,500 calories if that weight's going to come off. Regardless of what any personal trainer or nutrition guru tries to tell you, there is no way you can lose weight without taking in less calories than you currently are, or burning more calories than you currently do. Okay? You can burn more calories through exercise and lose weight that way, but I just think that nutrition is a much easier approach for most people to do it. So calorie deficit has to be in place. I'm going to talk about in a minute or two about how we can do that. Next thing is that we have to understand that weight loss is not the same thing as fat loss, and if you're not seeing progress, it could be because you have these two things mixed up. So we have to remember that weight is composed of much more than just fat tissue. So with weight, we do have fat tissue involved in that, but weight also includes our skeleton, which isn't going to change significantly, but we have muscle tissue in there, and we also have water weight as well. Water weight is something that can fluctuate quite a bit depending on our salt intake and hydration levels, and our muscle tissue can also degrade if we don't train, or it can increase when we train. So some people will actually see their weight go up when they start a fitness program, and they'll start to freak out. But the reason why you've gained weight generally is because you've actually increased your muscle mass. And you might have actually lost fat at the same time, but you just put on a little bit more muscle than you lost fat. So the net result was maybe a 1 or 2 kilo increase in your body weight. So remember that fat loss is really what people want. They don't want weight loss. So that's what you should be focusing on. If you want to really zone in on finding out if you're losing fat and how much fat you're losing, you can do things like skin fold tests. You can get that done by personal trainers. Make sure that it's a good one who has experience doing it and will be consistent with taking the measurements the same way each time. And on the pricier end of things, there's things like a DEXA scan. I wouldn't worry about stuff like that, but just be aware that you shouldn't freak out if you see the weighing scale go up, so long as you are training and eating enough protein. Then that probably means that you just gained muscle tissue. Okay, next thing we have to think about is, how do we know if we're in a calorie deficit? Well, we have to be tracking our calories. People really don't like hearing this, but for the majority of people, they just have no idea how many calories are really in certain foods, especially things like nut butters, high-fat foods like avocados. These are all calorie-dense foods, and until you've spent some time using a calorie tracker and finding out just how many calories are in these different foods, you're really not going to see the results that you want. There are some people who can do this by themselves without a calorie tracker, but they're few and far between. So I would recommend using a calorie tracker like MyFitnessPal. I know there's lots of different ones out there, but MyFitnessPal is one that I've used in the past. I've had other people use with success, and it just has a really large variety of foods on there. Generally, you're going to find whatever food that you're looking for on there and get a fairly accurate breakdown of the calories that are in that food and the macronutrients, so your protein, carbohydrates, and fat content within the food. So, you need to use a calorie tracker. You need to be using that for as much of your food intake as you can so that you can really see how many calories you're taking in. Next thing you need to do is make sure that you're doing regular weigh-ins. So, I recommend weighing yourself ideally at least once a week, maybe twice a week. But definitely once a week. Say Sunday morning usually works well for most people. Do it first thing in the morning, right after you've used the bathroom, so you don't have any food in your stomach, and before eating any food, so don't have breakfast yet. And then you want to make sure that that weigh-in is being done under those conditions every time so that you're getting an accurate reading of your weight. And essentially, if you are doing that, and you're not seeing any change in your body weight, then you probably need to bring your calories down slightly. Not by a huge amount. I wouldn't suggest going any more than about a 500 calorie deficit. So if you usually take in 2,500 calories and your body weight isn't moving, you're going to want to drop it down to somewhere between 2,250 to 2,000 calories. So that's the simplified version of what you need to be focusing on if you want to lose weight, and specifically body fat. Hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, as always, you can send me a private message, or you can comment underneath in the video, and I'll get back to you on that.